Since Repair Clinic encourages you to perform this procedure safely, a warning icon will appear when you should use caution. Many Samsung refrigerator repairs will require some disassembly of the appliance. To fully disassemble and reassemble the refrigerator, you will need a Phillips head screwdriver, a large flathead screwdriver, a small flathead screwdriver, a 10mm socket, needle nose pliers, a mallet, and a suction cup capable of moving up to 80 pounds. Before you begin the procedure, unplug the appliance's power cord. To uninstall the ice maker, open the left side refrigerator door and pull out the ice bucket. Using the Phillips head screwdriver, unthread the screw securing the ice wire harness cover. With the screw unthreaded, you can pull the cover straight out to remove. Depress the tabs to disconnect the ice maker wire harness connector. Next, unthread the screw securing the lower ice maker cover. Use the large flathead screwdriver to depress the retaining tab to release the cover. Use the screwdriver to help detach the refrigerant tubing from the bottom of the ice maker. Now depress the retaining tab at the top, and you can pull the ice maker assembly forward and down to remove. This may require some effort. If you need to remove the auger motor assembly, use the small flathead screwdriver to depress the retaining tab to disconnect the auger wire harness connector. Insert the large flathead screwdriver under the auger motor assembly retaining clip, then rotate to lift up the clip. You can now pull the assembly out to replace the auger motor, fan assembly, or the ice auger solenoid. Reinstall the ice auger motor assembly by realigning it in the housing and pushing it back until it locks into place. Reconnect the auger wire harness connector. Reposition the ice maker assembly in the housing so the refrigerant tubing feeds through the space between the ice maker tray and the hinged lower cover. Then align the slots on the housing mounting posts and push back until the assembly is fully seated. Press the refrigerant tubing into place under the tray and close the cover. Rethread the screw to secure the cover. Connect the ice maker wire harness connector and secure all wiring behind the clips. Realign the tabs on the wire harness cover with the slots in the ice maker housing and push the cover straight back. Thread the screw to secure. Replace the ice bucket. To uninstall a refrigerator door, use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the 3 mounting screws, securing the hinge cover. set the cover aside. If you need to remove the left side door, pull back the plastic covering, then depress the tab to disconnect the large wire harness. Depress the tab to disconnect the small wire harness as well. Next, depress the retaining ring to release the water line from the tubing connector. Have an assistant help to hold the door as you release the upper hinge support. Lift the front of the hinge out of the door first, then pull the hinge free of the bracket and detach it from the wires and water line. You can now lift the door off the lower hinge. To reinstall the door, first confirm the bushing is on the hinge. Then set the door on the bushing. Close the door and reinstall the upper hinge by first aligning the wires and water line in the hinge slot. Insert the rear tab into the bracket, then insert the front of the hinge into the door. Align the hinge support on the support bracket and push the support down to secure the hinge. Fully insert the water line in the tubing connector. Reconnect the small wire harness, as well as the large wire harness. Reposition the cover and rethread the 3 mounting screws. To uninstall the center flapper, open the left side refrigerator door and use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the 2 screws securing the center flapper hinge. Use the mallet to tap the bottom of the flapper to help detach. Pull the wire harnesses out and depress the tabs to disconnect the 2 wire harness connectors. Reinstall the flapper by first connecting the 2 wire connectors. Push the wire harnesses into the inner liner, then align the upper and lower hinges on the liner mounting posts and slide the flapper down. Rethread the 2 screws to secure the center hinge. If you need to replace any water dispenser components, use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the 2 mounting screws, securing the ice and water dispenser control assembly. With the screws unthreaded, pull the assembly down. Disconnect the wire connector and release the wire from the retainer. Next, unthread the 2 screws securing the ice chute flapper and motor assembly. Pull the assembly down and use the small flathead screwdriver to depress the retaining tab on the back side of the wire connector to disconnect it. This may require some effort. Reinstall the ice chute flapper and motor assembly by first reconnecting the wire connector. Then align the assembly and thread the two mounting screws. Reinstall the dispenser control assembly by reconnecting the wire connector and securing the wire in the retainer. Feed the water line into the hole in the assembly as you insert the tab on the rear of the funnel into the slot in the dispenser housing. Rethread the screws to secure. To reach the cooling duct panel inside the refrigerator, first remove the two crisper drawers, as well as the pantry drawer. Now depress the tabs to release the crisper drawer shelf assembly from the water filter housing. Remove the shelf assembly. Detach the left side pantry door mounting post from the left rail and remove the door. You can now remove the pantry cover. You will need to remove the upper shelving as well to access the shelf support rail and cooling duct. Use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the two screws, securing the water filter housing and support panel. Set the assembly aside. To uninstall the cooling duct, use the small flathead screwdriver to detach the upper shelving support rail screw cover. Then unthread the upper and lower shelf support rail screws. Next, unthread the two screws securing the cooling duct to the rear liner. Pull the cooling duct from the top to release. Disconnect the two wire connectors to fully remove to access the damper control assembly or the cooling duct heater. Reinstall the cooling duct by first reconnecting the two wire connectors. Fully position the duct on the rear liner. Thread all 4 screws to secure. Replace the upper shelf support rail screw cover. Realign the water filter housing and support panel, and rethread the 2 screws. Replace the upper shelving. Reposition the pantry cover. Reinstall the pantry door by inserting the right side mounting post into the hole in the right rail first. Then snap the left side post into the notch in the left rail. Realign the crisper drawer shelf assembly and snap the center support into place on the water filter housing. Replace the 2 crisper drawers, as well as the pantry drawer. If you need to remove the freezer drawer front, open the freezer drawer and remove both baskets. Use the 10mm socket to unthread the 2 screws, securing the left drawer front support bracket to the rail. Unthread the 2 screws, securing the right support bracket to the rail as well. You can now tilt the drawer front forward, then lift up to remove. To uninstall the evaporator cover, first use the small flathead screwdriver to detach the retaining pin, securing the gear shaft. Slide the gear shaft to the right to remove. You can now use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the 2 mounting screws, securing the evaporator cover. Pull the cover outward from the bottom to detach. Disconnect the evaporator fan motor wire connector to fully remove the cover. To access the fan motor, defrost heater, and the evaporator temperature sensor. Reinstall the evaporator fan cover by first connecting the wire connector. Realign the top edge of the cover first, then press the bottom into place. Rethread the 2 mounting screws. Reinstall the gear shaft by inserting the end of the shaft with the retaining pin hole into the right side gear first. Then insert the opposite end of the shaft into the left side gear. Snap the retaining pin into place to secure the shaft. Reinstall the drawer front by aligning the support bracket tabs with the slots on the rails. Thread and tighten the left and right side screws to secure the brackets to the rails. Replace the two baskets. To uninstall the display touchscreen assembly, open the right side refrigerator door and remove the upper door bin if necessary. Detach the screw cover, then use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the display touchscreen mounting screw from the door liner. Next, attach the suction cup to the upper face of the touchscreen. Hold the door in place and pull to detach the touchscreen. Lift the bottom edge of the assembly out of the door and disconnect the 3 wire connectors to fully remove the assembly. Reinstall or replace the touchscreen by first connecting the 3 wire connectors to the appropriate terminals on the back of the assembly. Align the bottom edge in the door first, then push the screen into position. Open the door and rethread the mounting screw to secure the assembly. Snap the screw cover into place. Replace the door bin, if applicable. With the reassembly complete, plug the power cord back in, and the refrigerator should be ready for use.